afternoon and welcome to Pep Talk with Dr. Ellis, Coach Ellis, but most importantly, your friend. So thank you for being here on this afternoon. A good Thursday, July 2nd. Yeah, so thank you for being here on today. All right, so we're going to get right down to it as we continue to follow up on personal power lessons for a better life. Personal power lessons for a better life. And again, this whole show is based on personal development. It's my true belief that things don't get better till you get better. That's just the bottom line. But it's crazy because most of the world feels that their life will get better when everything else gets better. It doesn't work like that. It starts from the inside and then yet radiates on the outside. All right? So that's how it works. All right? If you want to be successful, no problem. Then study successful people. Even the good book says, study to show thyself what? Approved. So let's make sure that we continue to do that. Proverbs 13:20 says, he who walks among wise counsel, he too shall become wise. He will grow wise, all right? So I told you to make sure you're always assessing your environment, the people that you are hanging around with. Now, the Apostle Paul also says, 1 Corinthians 11:1, imitate me as I imitate Christ. We must continue to watch what others do, that which you so desire to have, to be. All right, then you must do it. Paul told Timothy that make sure you continue to practice these things that you've heard me say and you've seen me do. Practice these things. So we need practice. Now, I told you there's 10 key qualities that I'm going to give you, and they all start with the letter C. If you do all of these 10, your success is predictable. If not, then you need to work on these to make sure it is just that. Success has clues as well as failure. Now, remember, I've always told you that all patterns of habit, nobody is born with these patterns. These patterns are developed. You can train and discipline yourself to have these habits, but you must practice, all right? Now, I told you that you can have it. Have what? Whatever you want in life. I really do believe that you can have it if you're willing to develop the habits. It's the habits which allows you to have it, all right? I've also told you that repetition is the mother of all teachers, but you got to do it over and over and over. Here's why. Because you want it to move from your conscious to your subconscious to where it's just natural. All right? So that's what you want at the end of the day. Now, the first C I gave you was clarity. Make sure you're clear about what you want in life. It's the starting point of all success. So you make sure when you're clear, you can be, do, and have whatever you want in life. But make sure you are clear. Most folks are not clear what they want. I want a good life. Okay, but what does that look like? Well, right. So get clear about what you want. Well, I want a car. Well, what kind of car? 4-door, 2-door, sunroof, convertible, blue, black, white, red. What kind of car? See what I'm saying? So you get clarity. It's very important you do that. You got to get clarity. Clarity helps you with your goal. And sometimes you just have to be still. You know, we live in this world that's constantly evolving, constantly turning, constantly changing. But sometimes you got to be still to compose yourself and be clear on what you want. Psalms 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. So until you're still, you can't know. So make sure you get that. Get enlightened, if you will. So we talked about that. Now, when you get clarity, once you get clarity, now it's going to force you to make what's called some decisions. And most folks don't want to make decisions. And it's amazing because based on my research and through my years of experience in life, that if you don't make the decisions, then you'll work for people who can. I'll say it again. If you're not willing to make decisions, then you'll work for people who can. All right? So be willing to make some decisions. Develop the characteristics and the quality to be. Here's why. Because most people are indecisive. They really are. Most people fear of making mistakes. And successful people know that you will make mistakes along the way, but you'll also learn along the way. All right? So once you get clarity, you're going to have to make some decisions, all right? And 80% of the decisions I told you should be made the first time they come up. You should be able to make that decision. Be clear about what you want, and it'll be easy about how you're trying to accomplish it. Got it? And make sure, I taught you as well, make sure you ask. Matthew 7:7 says, ask and ye shall receive, seek, ye shall find, knock and the door shall be open to all those people. So don't be afraid to make some decisions, all right? The thing to do about a decision is really to make one. And if that decision don't work, then make another one. If that decision doesn't work, then make another one. If that decision doesn't work, make another one. Now, if you're making all these decisions, nothing seems to be working, then maybe you need to reassess what you're doing. It's probably not what you should be doing. Got it? Okay, all right, let's move on. Now, within that, make sure you have a vision. Have a dream. You must have a dream if you want your dream to come true. And dreams do come true. Dreams do come true. But in order for it to come true, you must have one. What's your dream? And then if so, then never give up on your dream. You hear all the people say, how'd you make it? I never gave up. I never gave up. You know, I was listening just the other day, going through some little iTunes music, ran across a little guy, what's the little guy named Nipsey Hussle. Yeah, and he got one little song that says, hey, man, ain't nothing special about me. The only difference is I can find out is that I never gave up. So, yeah, his success came when he was roughly about 30, 31 years old. I know he wind up passing away at roughly about 33. But, yeah, he didn't get any really big publics, huge success until roughly about 30. So in 30, that's kind of old in the game, you know what I'm saying, to be just now getting going. But he says, there's nothing I can find that's really different about me. The only difference is, man, I never gave up. So he had a dream. He just never gave up. Get one. If you're constantly giving up on stuff, it's because you really don't have a dream. Once you get one, you will never give it up. Here's why. Because winners never quit, and quitters never win. So find you a dream. If you don't have one, then be still. Be still and allow God to give you what it is you so desire. All right? And the Bible does say that. The good book says in Psalm 37 that he'll give you desires of your heart. He'll give you desires of your heart. But if you don't have anything in your heart, and your heart is where your subconscious is. This is my conscious. If I want to raise my hand, I raise my hand. If I want to cross my arms, I cross my arms. I'm operating my conscious. But my subconscious is where deep things are embedded in me. You got it? All right. So that's where we're at. So you got to have a vision. You got to have a dream. The best way to predict the future is to create it. That's the best way to create your future. The best way to predict it is to create it, not to wait and see what's going to happen. You create it. All right? So that's very important you understand that. All right. So it's the goal. It's that our goal is what we should be achieving. What's your goal? I call it the gold mine. Not just the GOLD while you'll find your fortunes, but your goal, your GOAL, your goal will produce your goal. So people say, well, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have this. I'm not prosperous. Well, you're not because you don't have goals. What is your goals? You need to set goals. Write the vision. That's in the good book, too, Habakkuk 2. Go in that chapter, and you'll be able to see 2 through 4. It says, write the vision and make it plain. Write whatever you so desire your life to be. And then you go over it and 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 over it until they move from your conscious where? To your subconscious. All right? So that's where we're at. So I talked about clarity, and now we're going to move on to, what are we going to move on to now? Yeah, you got to be competent. We talked about that on Tuesday. Now that you have clarity, now that you've made some decisions, now you need to focus on becoming competent. You be competent. And again, you must make sure you continue to be the best in whatever you're doing. Study whatever that profession is. Study whatever it takes that skill set to get. Are you studying that? Are you practicing that? Are you working on that every day? Are you doing something towards that? All right? So no more than someone says they want to lose 20 pounds in 6 months so they can get into their wedding dress. Let's just go with that. Okay. Is she working out every day to get toward that 20 pounds? If so, she's already successful. She's working toward that. All right? Has she changed her eating habits? Now, I'm not saying she work out every day and yet she's still eating a buffet. That's not going to happen. You got it? But she's working out every day. She's changed her eating habits, all right? All of those things is what's going to help her achieve that 20 pounds. Then she's actually successful. She's working toward that. What are you working toward? Every day. Every day you put at least an hour toward it. What is that? No more than what I'm doing now. I'm putting at least a half an hour just on this alone. And yet I had to put, again, the lesson to teach you. I'm working on it every day. What are you working on every day? So you become competent. And then now move from competent, become the best in your field. So when everybody else is being laid off and everybody else is being replaced, you're kind of irreplaceable because you're the best they got. A man told me years ago, he said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Work hard at your job, no problem, but work harder on yourself, which means after you finish, work on your job. You're the best. You say, well, I'm at my job from 8 to 5. I got it. But after 5, work on yourself. Or even as you're spending time with me at lunch, you're working what? On yourself, because this is all about personal development. Pep Talk is all about personal development. Lunch and learn. You're personally putting investment. 30 minutes on your Tuesday and Thursday, you're listening to me. You're already better than most. I'll say it again. By you watching me for 30 minutes a day, you're already better than most folks. That's the truth. All right? So now you're becoming competent. The Apostle Paul says, all that you do, do unto the Lord. Why? Because if you were doing something for God, wouldn't you do your very best? Yes. So good enough wouldn't be good enough. You would say, nope, got to do it again. You got to do it again until I go, oh, that's great. That's great. All right? Matter of fact, it's in the scriptures. In Genesis, it says that God looked at all that he did and saw that it was good. And then he rested. So until he did his very best, until he was pleased about everything that he did, he didn't rest. So you don't get rest. You say, when do I get rest? When you feel that you've completed everything you need to do. Until then, no need for rest. Got it? All right. So make sure you're focusing on that. Let's move on from that, and let's now go to the third C, concentration. Concentration. We talk about clarity, talked about competence. Now let's talk about concentration. All right? Concentration is what it's going to take. Concentration is the number one key to effectiveness. It's where you can truly apply the 80-20 rule, where I can concentrate on the top 20% and get 80% results. You have 10 things, but the top 2 will take care of 80% of the results. The other 8 will get you 20% of the results. So the top 2, I try to focus on the top 2. Well, the top 2 things I want to get done today. At least I had an 80% day. That's a good day. And if I wind up getting anything else done, 3, 4, 5, well, that's an A. Had a great day today. Had a great day. But if I get the top 2, I've already had a good day. 80%, you got an 80 on the test, that's a good day. How's your day? It's a good day. See what I'm saying? But I'm quantifying it. I'm not just saying at the top of my head, hey, it was a pretty good day. Versus, what'd you do? Well, I did this, did that. Yeah, but, most folks equate a good day to, well, nothing went wrong. I don't equate a good day to nothing went wrong. I equate a good day to what went right. And I got the top 2 things done every day. Now, if I can get 1 through 3 done, great. 1 through 5, even better. 1 through 7, wow. You see what I'm saying? But I'm focusing on the top 2 for sure. All right. So, got to concentrate. In this life, there's not enough time to do all things, but enough for the important ones. Most people create a daily list and start from the bottom with an easy and irrelevant things. And they do. 1 through 10, they'll start from 10 and work their way up. No, you're doing it wrong. You start from the 1 and work your way down. Start from the biggest, but they start with the easiest. Now start with the difficult one. Well, that may take too long. Yeah, but once you get it out the way, it's out the way. Then you can deal with those smaller, tedious ones. So you deal with the big boys first. Deal with the big rocks, not the little ones. Deal with the big rocks. All right? So successful people, or successful top performers, shall I say, work on the top list. They use willpower and perseverance to concentrate. You can only concentrate, believe it or not, on one thing at a time. I'm a multitasker. No, you're not. You can only do one thing at a time. So if I'm washing dishes, I'm washing dishes. I can't be washing dishes literally and cook at the same time. You can't do that. Now I can wash dishes, leave from washing dishes, and then cook, then cook, then wash clothes, and then clean. Yeah, but I can't do all at the exact same time. No one can. All right? So what you do, you focus on what you can get done the toughest first, and then you work your way down. Before you start anything, ask yourself a question. What is the most valuable use of my time right now? What is the most valuable use of my time right now? Even with the COVID right now, I had to ask myself that question. What is my valuable use of my time right now? It is working more on myself, but also sharing that which I'm learning with others and making them better. And I really do feel by making others better, you've also impacted the world and made the world what? A better place. So I feel like I'm making the world a better place. At the same time, making myself better, adding value to myself and adding value to others. See what I'm saying? 2, once you repeat that, ask and get it in your subconscious mind. It will guide you, lead you, push you to what that is. When you work on that, you will feel great. A concentrated source of energy and enthusiasm when you are working on something important. Develop a sense of urgency. Only 2% of the population has that. Only 2% of the population has urgency. They do things, fast. They have a bias for action. 20% of the companies make 80% of the profits. There's an 80-20 rule. The top 20% of the companies make 80% of all the money. Isn't that interesting? The top 20% of the companies makes 80% of all the profits. The top 20% of people make 80% of all the income. Coincidence? I think not. All right? Develop a reputation for speed and dependability, and things will open for you. Once again, develop a reputation for speed and dependability, which means people say, man, that guy, that lady, they get things done. That company, they get things done. You can count on them. That's what dependability means. And they get things done fast, which means, somebody says, well, I'll get by there tomorrow, and they don't get by for a week or later. Well, we'll try to get it done today, and they don't get it done for a couple of days later. No. See, they've already developed a bad reputation. You don't want that. Have a sense of urgency. Act fast, and it will make and save you so much. Keep the habit of completing each job till it's finished. Notice I said keep a habit of completing a job till it's finished, because why? It's a habit. There was a survey done, and they asked 100 top executives, what number one quality would a person need to be on a fast track in your company? I'm going to say it again slowly, because I don't want you to miss this. It's very important. They did a study, and they asked 100 of the top executives, in that top 20% that makes 80% of the profits, they asked 100 top executives, what number one quality would a person need to be on a fast track in your company? You wouldn't believe what they said. They said was to set priorities to determine what's relevant and irrelevant. Someone who can figure out, set priorities, goals, as Dr. Ellis said, set some goals, and then determine what's relevant, what's irrelevant, what's important, and what's not important. And there's 2, a sense of urgency. Get up, get going, and complete it. They say that's the number one quality to get you on their fast track. I know you thought it was going to say personality or degrees or experience. They didn't say that. The number one quality was to set priorities, goals, to determine what's relevant and what's irrelevant. And then 2, which goes with the once you set the goals and determine what's relevant, irrelevant, was to get a sense of urgency. Get up, get going, and then complete what you've begun. All right? All right, we're down to number 4. We talked about clarity. We talked about competence. All right, we talked about those. And then we just talked about concentration. So clarity, competence, concentration. And then number 4, man, I could spend all day on this one, but I won't. Common sense. Look, I've been around for quite a bit, almost a half a century. My next birthday, I'll be 50. Yeah, my next birthday will be 50. Yeah. What I found out, common sense is not common at all. It's not. Common sense. The number one quality, the average person has enormous amounts of it because they never use it. I thought that was funny. I had to write that down. The average person has enormous amounts of common sense because they never use it. I'm telling you, common sense is not common at all. If you just take the time to listen and hear people talk, you go, what in the world? Right. You can train your mind to think before you act, and that's all you have to do. Common sense. Think before you act. Think before you speak. Just think. That's all. And that's the God-given ability that God gave man above all the animals, all the beasts of the earth, is man can think. Man can think. Man chooses not to think. Think. Just think about it. That's all I'm saying. Before you act, think. Before you speak, think. All right? To do otherwise is total failure. All right? Listen to your intuition. 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 Which means to learn from within. To learn from within. Intuitive. People say, I have an intuitive spirit, which means they learn things. Say, how'd you know that? Well, that didn't come from the outside. That came from the inside. People say, well, I just know. Yeah, you ever heard anybody say that? I just know. That's intuition. Or if I'm saying I'm just going with my gut. Well, believe it or not, I get it now, because your gut, your stomach, esoterically, really means your mind. All right? That's why we call it lunch and learn, because you're feeding your stomach, but you're also feeding your mind with the information I'm giving you, and that is your stomach. You got it? All right, so your God is the spirit, your spirit. Your God is the spirit that will give you the accurate and exact answer for you. Men and women have the exact same amount of intuition, but men override it by training to get something easier and quicker. So men and women have the exact same intuition. We just override it by practice. Nah, I ain't going with that. That doesn't make any sense. When they say women have more intuition, women have more intuition because they don't override it with logic. We override it. So now I'm not going to, that doesn't seem right. And sure enough, it still was the right thing to do. But we have the exact, I want to be very clear, men and women have the exact same intuition. You probably heard the old saying, which I have. Women have, it's called women's intuition. Right. Well, the intuition is the same thing a man got. God made them the same, male and female. So no, a woman doesn't have any more intuition than a man. It's just that men will override it with their reason and logic and say it doesn't make any sense, when a woman will simply adhere to it, and just follow it. Okay? Common sense. Watch this. Learn from your setbacks. Ask, what is the most valuable lesson I can learn from this? So big deal. It didn't go right. So you made a mistake. But what did you learn? Then if you learn something, that now liability has now turned into an asset. That liability has now turned into an asset. You got it? So always ask yourself, when something doesn't go right, what is the most valuable lesson I can learn from this? Although it didn't go right, what's the most valuable lesson I can learn from this? All right? Remember I told you Matthew 7:7. Seek, and you shall what? Find. So look for the answer. It's in there. Look for some valuable stuff. Go through the junk pile, and you can find some stuff you can use that you'll be able to take with you on your next journey. All right? The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates said that. You must reflect. Always reflect. In my downtime, in my down season, even winter, this world is based on 4 seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall. In the winter, that's my main time to reflect. But also my time to plan, because why? What comes after winter? Spring. Things spring up. So it's time to get it now. It's too late now. So you should have been reflecting during the winter times. And we all have that. I'll talk to you another day, another episode, another lesson about the 4 seasons. But everyone in their life always have fall. You're going to fall at some things. But fall also represents change. I don't want to go too much on my tangent, but fall represents change. That's all. Things is about to change. Okay? The climate, the temperature, the weather changes. The leaves changes. Nature itself is changing, which means now it's time to evolve and go to another level. All right? So your fall is actually a time of change, telling you get ready for your next level in your life. Then you go from fall to what? Winter. Winter is when it's cold. Winter, again, you should have planted those seeds now. Now it's all covered now. It's protected now. Now you start planting all your crops. You start planting. You've already planted. Now it's time for you to plan now. Plan, how do you do this, and what are you going to do with this, and before it's time for you to execute. Got it? So then you go into your planning in your winter season. You don't pack it all in and do nothing and sit by the fireplace. No, you work on all your plans now. You got it? All right. Okay, we're at 5 now. I think I can get 5 in and I'm done for the day. So you have clarity. You have competence. You have, oh God, I always seem to forget that third one. Competence, and what was that third one? I always seem to forget that concentration. God, I guess I already forgot my concentration. So now you got clarity, competence, concentration, common sense, and the last one for today, creativity. You got 5 more. Creativity. Every human being is a genius. Yeah, every human being is, because, well, we have a plethora of ideas because we can tap into God, the Spirit, who has all the answers. So every human being is a genius. The hallmark of creativity is curiosity. Curiosity. What if I try this? What if I did this? What if I take a chance on this? See, there it is. And that's what makes you, again, a genius. Like, man, what made you try that? I don't know, I just figured I'd try it. See, that's curiosity. What if I turn here? Hey, what if I call and ask him this? See, you have the chance to be that genius. All right? So the hallmark of creativity is curiosity. And the hallmark of stupidity is not asking questions. Gosh. So if you want to say you're a genius and want to exercise your creativity, ask questions. Hey, what about this? Hey, if I did this, what would that happen? If I did this, what would happen to this? Right. And by not asking questions is how you, again, become the hallmark of what? Stupidity. Scripture says, and Jesus said this, unless you become a child, you can no way see or enter the kingdom. Why? Because children have the best strategy. They continuously do what? Ask. What is this? What is that? Are we here now? Where are we going? Blah, 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 blah. They ask. When we get to a certain point, we think we know it all. Or we say stuff like, well, if I ask, they're going to make me look stupid. No, by you not asking, make you look stupid. So just ask. It makes you definitely come across as being interesting because you're interested. You see what I'm saying? So ask. They quickly drop what they were doing when most keep on doing what they were doing. So our children continue to do it. The more you do what you are doing, the more you get what you got. The changes in our lives come with new information. 80% of everything we are doing will be different 5 years from now. The food will be different, houses will be different, streets will be different, etc. All right? Research says all you need is one idea, 10% new, to start a fortune. You just need one idea and make that idea 10% better than what's already out there, and you'll make a fortune. Do you not know that the single most successful service for millionaires is a dry cleaning business? Boy, that blew my mind. It's like, I had to look into that. So in the dry cleaning business, have made more millionaires than anybody, more business than any business in the country. Dry cleaning. Here's why. People are always going to need it. People are always going to need that. All right? Most successful people offer a service most people use and offer it, watch this, just 10% better. They're not trying to change it or reinvent it. Just make it a little bit better. Look at all the phones. We pretty much got the same phone we had for 20, 30 years. Think about it. It's just got better. It ain't a new phone. It's not a new phone. It's like they still the same phone. Think about it. Still go to the ear. Same phone. Now one just got a camera. One got now 2 cameras. It just made it better. Think about it. One does this. One does that. But that's it. But it's still, they all the same phone. All right? So most successful people offer a service most people use and offer 10% better. A bit faster. A bit more grace or polite. And be a bit more unique. All right? Look for new ideas and trust your ideas and follow your intuition. All right? So that's all I got for you today. We got at least 5 more, but remember now, we've already went through need clarity. You need competence at the end of the day. You need, God, what, I keep. I know I got it in the top of my tongue, and it keeps bothering me. Concentration, thank you. So clarity, competence, concentration, common sense, you're going to need as well, and then creativity. That's the 5 for today. Let me say it again so I can get it in my spirit. All right, clarity, competence, concentration, common sense, creativity. All right. Hey, that's my time. I thank you for yours. Thanks for joining me once again at Pep Talk. Again, stands for Pastor Ellis Paul, teacher, author, life coach. Again, lunch and learn where we feed the stomach and feed the mind. See you on Tuesday at high noon. Tell folks about it so their life can be better and this can be a better place. All right. Thanks again for allowing me to spend time with you today. God bless. Bye now.